transmission time. I have updated the, and I'm hoping this isn't going to lag too much. I might turn the computer off a bit, and then hopefully it won't lag. We're going into Mercury Retrograde, so we're going to have a bit of those things as an issue. We're in the shadow phase of Venus Retrograde. How are we doing? I'm hoping this stream works, otherwise I'm going to have to start again. Usually do it on the computer, but I'm preparing everything for all the new launches, for the new channels, for the website. Good grief. Right, 2022. We're here already. Now, I have had a lot of psychic downloads. Those of you who have booked with me, we've been really tapping into that energy, and you've been a little bit more ahead of the game than most. The rest of you, I do have a sale on the website at the moment for Twin Flames. So if you do want to jump through and grab it while it's hot, go through and have a look. We also have a Twin Flame Hub online that I'll be launching material in. It's a freebie, and we will have the paid membership soon. But I'll give you an update about that as we go. Let's get a ruin. Where are they? I know they're here. No, they're not. They're in the kitchen. We won't get a ruin. So how we been? It's been a while. Now, I do feel at the moment with the energy of the astrology, the masculines at the moment, if you did go have a look, I do have an update for the masculines, the feminines, and the karmic. It's online at YILDIZ Readings. I'll try and remember to link it in the box, and that will become hopefully a weekly experience. With them at the moment, I do feel that they've really been trying to sort of contract out. And it's funny because it's coming up again. And they do want to bring justice to the situation, but they do want to have a very balanced connection. I hope this isn't lagging too much. Hi, Dawn. How you doing, beautiful? Happy New Year, all. So at the moment, it's looking like they're looking at maybe this could be a marriage, this could be a contract, a workplace situation, but it's really in their mind, when it does come to you, they kind of feel as though it's something that needs sorting, but they do want to bring the balance back with you. So they're kind of looking at it like, gee, how do I get the balance back with my divine feminine? And it's like they're going to have a heart-centered conversation with you. At the moment, you might find it's coming through more in the more malefic state. And that's due to the fact that we did have Venus retrograde. They do have a lot of hard-hitting energy. They're still recovering from the last 18 months. And that's because the astrology was pretty heavy for divine masculine. So it's not that there's no movement. It's not that they're not moving. It's to do with the 12th house. So at the moment, it's almost this absolute urgency. Hi, Big Casino. This absolute urgency that they feel that they need to get their self-worth intact, that they need to get their money in order, their foundation, where they're going. So it's like the best thing I can, as an analogy to give you, it's like a circus act. It's like, trying to juggle all these things to try and bring them together. They do feel that when they're with you, this is to do with habits as well. So it may be that they're looking at their nutrition, their diet, their health, and trying to get it back on an even keel, but trying to come towards you in a healthier format. But there's a lot of psychology coming up for the divine masculines at the moment. They are remembering back to who they used to be. They are remembering back to the gentler kind of energy of who they used to be. And it's kind of been shown to me that it's almost like when you have this epiphany, you're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, gee, who is this person I've become? This isn't the person I thought I was going to become through this circumstance. So it's like they're looking at the shadow of who they used to be and missing the old version of the higher hot octane, happier kind of version. They feel that you deserve somebody that would really, treat you like a classy person, treat you very gently and loving. They do feel that they have been quite hard on you most recently. But there have been some emotions at the moment that have been, it's almost like they're trying to hold the emotion down the way they feel about you. And it can be because on an external situation at the moment, it's like they know if they open that can of worms just yet, it can be problematic because there's something that is in the way that they're having to address on the 3D, but it is causing emotions. Now, I do feel for some of you, not only are we going into Mercury retrograde, but we're still going to be in that shadow phase, okay? And we're having a full moon in Cancer. For the masculines, this can be to do with family, lineage, home, old things that are coming up. It's also, it can be traditional, but it can be a heartfelt conversation and bringing old things up. So yes, there can be, for those of you in communication, a little bit of a tit for tat. Just be really wary of that. It is a temporary transit. It's not permanent. Mercury retrograde is a real good time to actually communicate, but you've got to be in awareness of what the transits are doing so that you can have the best possible outcome with your twin flame. I think one of the biggest things that we do have an issue with in the twin flame collective is communication. And I should know because I'm a twin and I went through it for, oh God, 25 odd years. So the one thing I have noticed is that self-awareness really does help you actually get a better outcome. So, you know, by looking at it and acknowledging what you're needing, but also by looking at it and seeing if you've actually walked a mile in their shoes before, it's actually not a personal thing. You know, it's not actually, when we do look at it and step back, because what's going on with them, it's the old analogy, it's happening to them. If there's that inner child energy coming out, it can look a little bit lower frequency temporarily, but it's the person having a spiritual experience to an extreme situation in a conversation piece. I said, you know, one thing I did notice with my counterpart is that sometimes through this journey, I've had to really decipher between, are you thinking out loud or are you actually making a plan here? So sometimes it's just being a listening ear, but psychically for the feminines, there has been a lot of psychic attacks at the minute, but we'll get into that when we look at the feminine's energy. So I do feel there's this emotion coming up relating to you at the moment. And the reason it's coming through is because they do have a lot on their plate. So they're not being the highest octane. They also feel they've got a lot on their plate. So be it you're with your twin or you're not, it's like they want to be there, but they're unable to. And that's causing some sense of angst to them. But they're digging in and they're trying to get it done. But they do feel it's almost like if you're on the tightrope and you're having to make a decision left or right. I feel it's really coming to that pivotal point where they're directly saying, look, I do need to make a decision because this is directly impacting me. There's a little bit of, they don't really want to open up because how do I put it? It's like they feel if they're going to tell you everything that's going on, because it's an internalization and it's more to do with the monkey mind, they don't necessarily feel it's necessary just yet. And because it is something at the moment very separate to you that's going on, that they feel that they're holding themselves at bay. They are a little bit protective of themselves. So that protectiveness that they're experiencing inside of their life at the moment isn't because of you. It's because of an emotion that's coming up and it's clearing through the heart chakra for them. Their self-worth, self-esteem, it's like they're revisiting their life and saying, look, if I'm wanting more, I can create it. I have hands. But for some of them, if they were in a connection and they were getting to a point, they were saying, look, I built my whole life here. You know, I'm going to lose far too much. This is where they're looking outside the box now and they're saying, look, that's a lie. Am I actually getting anything out of it? There's so much more than just the value system of the cash component. Yes, we do need it. But there's also the spiritual attribute of things, which at the moment with that Venus energy, look, it's things we're not saying, because the throat chakra, whenever I'm channeling masculine, over the last 3 weeks has very much been relating to their communication. It's something that they do want to tell you, and it's not they're not going to. They're trying to psychologically come to terms with themselves. So I feel this stint for them, if you guys have been in communication or you have been to the point where you've been observing it and thinking, hey, this isn't moving, it actually is. It's more the fact that in their psychology, it's like they're looking at an old painting and they're saying, this doesn't resonate with me. They're actually looking at the logical steps. And I do call 2022 New Year's resolutions, except on this occasion, due to the fact that we had Venus retrograde, they're definitely serious New Year's resolution. So all of us collectively can feel almost panic stricken that if we make the wrong decision, that it's really life defining at the moment. And it is due to the fact it's in the house of Capricorn. So it's not for them it's not a light matter. Let me put it that way. And divine feminines, you guys are going to be feeling that way too. It's like a life or death experience. It's like, I have to make the correct decision. Everything in my life is defined by this. And that's actually not true. But the relativity of the astrology is making us feel that way. So at the moment, they're kind of holding themselves at bay because they know once they open Pandora's box with you, it's all on. So they already have decided that this is something they want, but they also do realize on the 3D, there are some hurdles that they're actually going to have to address. I do actually predict that during this Mercury retrograde, it could get a little bit messy. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's with you. It means it's with the intensity of things moving extremely quickly in order to bring these situations together. Pretty much from January all the way through to March, I do predict that there are going to be connections and unions. However, navigating that is going to be crucial. You know, if you are having issues, come through and book a reading and I can coach you. I've been there. The other portal is going to be, this is a very good year for twin flame unions. But the thing is, if we are wounded, look at the metaphor of such. Sometimes we think by having a conversation, it's going to automatically repair everything. You know, two people coming back together, we've done the integration, we've done the work, but there's also the navigation of inside the connection once you're walking in with those old wounds. And it's not to say you haven't actually done the work. But what I have experienced personally is that divine feminine can be quite fretful going back into that situation. You do tend to find it does flow, but you do have to work through the demons inside the connection. I'm seeing that this person has actually made a judgment and they're going to. So if there's something at a level that they need to move, they're making a decision. And I also feel they have looked at this quite solidly to be able to work out what it is. Now, there is this massive map I feel that they're making. I also feel if you threw them a text message, they've actually read it. I do feel they're going over old text messages, old photos, old things that they've seen of you. And there's a little bit of like, how would I say it? It's like they're physically viewing you, but you're not aware of it. They are viewing something directly connected to you. They are picturing what this connection is actually going to look like future tense. It's quite funny. It's quite presumptuous, but I feel once you guys reach that communication point, you'll be on the same page. So at the moment where they are, though, let's pull 3 cards. I want to see what these situations are. One can be to do with money. The other is a work-related dynamic. And I'm also seeing a home and a family related. So there's 3 major energies coming up in this read this week. And that can be for those of you coming into a reunion union. Let's see what's coming up. Is the feed working? Because we're walking into Mercury retrograde. Are we ready for the moon in Cancer? Ooh, they know that divine feminine knows what she wants. Okay, some of you may have had a fight most recently. It's okay, it's going to pass, you know. There was a bit of a tit for tat thing going on. Hi, Char, how you doing, doll? There looks like that, look, either on the 5D, but I really do feel a lot of you, this is more a 3D situation. I do feel divine feminine has been having a lot of ascension symptoms, but it's more, you're moving through it quick. But, you know, just all of a sudden you could be at a drop of a hat crying or getting to a point you're having a pain body experience. Really feeling something big's coming. The other channel message I was having, which was really quite odd, was this vision I had where we were on the opposite side of this portal and we were looking back at 2021 like it was 3 years ago. So I do feel through my guides that they're actually saying that this year is going to go very quickly. So hold on to your hats. I'm seeing, let's go to divine feminine. So that's where it stands at the moment. But I do feel if you were wondering if there, you know, are there wounds relating to the past? Yes. Some of this, they know that that was blocking them actually having a connection with you. I feel by your demeanor directly towards them, it's sort of like it's helped them learn and help them actually look at it and go, hey, this isn't about divine feminine. This is about something that I experienced in my past. And, you know, it's almost like that broken record we play when we're healing as human beings. So it's no shade on divine masculine. It's just this is how the energy is coming through. And so at the moment, a lot of us with Aries and Chiron last year was retrograde. It actually did move direct. So that shadow phase in the last 2 weeks, you may have reached a point which, you know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll give you a FYI, there is a person who is copying me. So if anyone inboxes you, just ignore them and block them, report them. But I do live updates on there as well. And I did mention that with the astrology and the emotions, it can be that at the moment they're acting a little bit off. So you, in a sense, can be looking at it going, look, this isn't worth it. I'm moving forward. The funny thing is there are a few stages of union. And this year I'm going to be making videos really relating to the twin flame path as information. The union stage, if you're very much at peace and you're like, look, I'm good with the person, I'm good without, you're more than likely going to start having a lot of interest coming towards you. And you can find that your life at the moment is very busy. Some of you may have been forced where you have to stay quite stuck while something's panning out. That may have been that you were housebound, you couldn't go anywhere. It might have been financial restraints, whatever that is. It's actually placing you in a position to protect you so all the dominoes can actually line up for this movement forward. I also feel that coming through at the moment, feminines, you guys might have done a lot of shadow work when it does come to you feeling the amount of sacrifices you had given in relationships, point blank zero. So you're not that same person anymore. Some of you may have been having a lot of shadow work done where you're looking at it and going, why did this person give it to that person, but they didn't give it to me, and then kind of dipped out of it again. The other thing you could have gone through is, you know, if I'm in a relationship, do I have to sacrifice my sense of who I am? Venus is very traditional at the moment. It's similar to Saturn. So it's like, okay, I've got to level up. I've got 99 problems. And, you know, do I really have time for this? You know, I have enough things that I'm actually making sacrifices for. I feel some of you are feeling quite stuck. And you're like, do I hang about forever for this reunion? Some of you are internally having this knowingness that it actually is happening. So that can be a weight off your shoulders. Now, yes, I do feel if there was a left and a right, I do feel that in your viewpoint, maybe you were thinking, hey, do I move forward? Is the situation holding me back? I had a lovely coaching session during the week. And one of the clients was saying, you know, people are saying I should move forward. And the thing is, a memory, history you share with the person, it's always going to be there. Our bodies naturally know when it's ready. Usually, if you're having a lot of people coming towards you, it's a sure sign that you may hear from this individual as well, especially because we are moving into Mercury Retrograde. Oh, okay, feminine. So you guys are up in your heads and you're feeling, look, you how do I put it? You're dreaming the dream, but you want to live the dream. Some of you are being very strict with your heart, Venus in Capricorn, right? And you're like, look, was this a whole bloody fantasy? Is this a fallacy? Am I a twin flame? You don't actually need the tag to know there's a vibration and there's a feeling. And it was one experience I went through. And I was like, look, we're all energy collectively. And regardless, we need to heal. All principles really connected if you're listening to a high octane reader. Is, you know, the personal development that you go through in the path actually helps you become the best version of you. So if this fixation is coming through with am I delusional? No, because every stage in our path is divinely guided and it is a process. So we can't be hard on ourselves. But some of you are particularly feeling that maybe you were disillusioned. I do feel some of you are breaking a pattern. But it's almost like, you know, even though you know you know how you feel about this person. I do get this feeling that you're not letting your heart ruin the situation. You're becoming quite rational. You're like, look, and it's not, how do I put it? You're overcoming the temptation of it, but it may be becoming where it's looking a little bit unattractive to you. I do feel you're opening up. You're like, look, I am ready for a relationship. So why is this not feeling the way I thought it would? It is temporary. It will make sense to you soon. Okay, something is going to change, but I do feel many of you are feeling some of those things. Hi, beautiful. Some of those things that you wanted to do were put on hold. That might have been moving house. That might have been hanging out with your friends. It might have been launching businesses. So a lot of that heavy energy, pretty much from 2020 to 2021, we were going through a portal where we also psychologically were stuck, because on the 3D, that survival instinct, trying to get those things sorted, especially the emotions, having to face your shadow of in your darkest hour, somebody wasn't there. But the same actually resides and, you know, connects to divine masculine. So it's that, again, that abandonment energy. And now I feel divine feminine is very much focused on their future, very focused on, okay, how can I change my life? How can I choose to, in the most yuck weather, have the most high vibe life and find happiness and bliss? And I do feel you're really trying to look after your health, your well-being. I feel a lot of you might have gone outside yourself initially. You know, it might have been your hair, your makeup, your clothing, but then had to really dig in deep and have to look in the inside of the heart chakra and the inner child to do that clearing. I do feel you know that there is this change. And I feel your power is actually coming back. So you're in the magician energy, but you're going to start, if you have moved through that portal and through that vibration. Funny enough, with the 1111 portal, what was shown to me is it is for the whole month. It's not just for that day. And they were very firm on showing me that we are getting into yin and yang, and we're trying to come to a space that we're getting into duality, but it's a very personal energy prior to the emotions coming up. It's very reflective. It's like, in order to have those New Year's resolutions, we're dumping the junk. We're reviewing some of these value systems so that we can move into the year very practically to have the best possible success. I feel, again, at a foundation, you psychically know the truth. And so whenever you go to a reading, you need to then after sit with yourself and really connect into what messages you got from it. So I feel your guides are directly communicating with you, but you need to listen to your internal compass when it does come to the 1111. So is it that you feel a chapter is ending and something's different? Are you fearing that maybe that means that person won't be with you? Try and detach from that, because I do actually see something very personal happening inside your life. You're coming to terms with your own personal needs, and it's perfectly normal. But there is something very separate as well as joint linked to something that you're directly integrating inside of yourself at the moment. Let's see the romantic side of things. There's hurts coming up towards third parties. I do actually feel some of the psychic attacks could have been coming from old friends. It could have been coming from a karmic energy. Yeah, so it's by digging in, you're going to get the clarity, but it's also being in acceptance of, you know, sometimes we think we don't have clarity, and that's because the other person hasn't articulated it. But all you need is your clarity. That's their job. You know what I mean? So it's like, if there was something that you feel they were struggling with, a wonderful statement was made to me last week in the coaching, and it was like, yes, but, you know, I kind of felt that this person needed to go and do X, Y, and Z, you know, maybe have a third party and do what they needed to do. And I've been through that too. And I said, yeah, but that's not our job to understand how they actually do this process. We need to focus on our process of how we do it. Otherwise, we're directly going into that connection as a healer, a doctor, a nurse, a carer, and we're choosing to have a relationship, not become a nursemaid. So it's then believing that in the yin and yang, as you have power to heal you and to hear your own personal thoughts and to be able to change your mind whenever it pleases, so too does this person. So it's seeing the abilities inside of yourself, and they are the mirror to you. If you can hear the washing machine, it's flying away. Apologies. I have asked Twin to level it up, but, you know, I have to be masculine and feminine here just like him. Okay, inside this connection at the moment, the way both parties are looking at it, there is a sadness, right? When we know better, we do better. So there's this inner sadness that both parties at the minute were feeling as though, you know, just wishing you could have got it all together many moons ago with the correct information. I actually do feel a very strong message. Something did come a 360. I do feel that the direct intentions were for movement to happen, I would say around October last year. Now, they keep talking back to something that transpired last year that has hurt you. Now, it might have been that you didn't get to spend Christmas together. It might have been that things haven't panned out, or you've been, you know, poorly. Whatever that is, they're saying it didn't quite go according to plan. And so, you know, that they can't change it. But at the same time, it was something that came at left field that prevented that. And I think it was almost we were energetically held in a metaphorical prison, so to speak, so that we could do some clearing. But it was so that we could face that shadow, move forward with less attachment with facing that shadow. But I do think, you know, this next cycle is going to be a lot better. I do feel both parties, you know, were very trying to be very strong in their mind. Regardless of that, if you were purging, you might have moved through it very quickly. But again, casting a real firm critical eye inside the connection, I feel both of you are looking at it and you're kind of saying to each other, look, you know, I need this to be moving, and if it's not moving, I really can't do this. But I do feel both parties are exhibiting a similar energy, and it is the inner emotion of the frustration of this whole situation. I do feel that they know that you do love them very much. But you're also feeling as though they're needing to love themselves in order to achieve these things. I do feel that what they're trying to do at the moment for this connection is to become the masculine that they always wanted to be. But they do, what they're showing me is they're definitely not thinking short term here, guys. This is a very big term situation. But I do think both on feminine's and masculine side, there can be subjects to do with family coming up. Now, unfortunately, because we do have the South Node in Scorpio, we currently have Venus retrograde. I believe it's the 18th that goes direct. Don't quote me. The energy will still reside to the end of the month. We have Venus in Capricorn till March. What is coming up at the moment, especially with the masculine's astrology, is it can be family-related dynamics and poorly parents, right? And that can be on feminine side as well. So we do have these things on the external that not necessarily are what we deem as a blockage, but there's something that's going on individually in our lives. It is lineage related. It could be your child. It might be a mother energy. Okay? Hi, sweet. It might be a mother energy. But there is something that, you know, in your minds, it's like both of you maybe are taking on a role and you're thinking, how do we bridge that gap? How do we directly come together? I've got this role over here. You got that role over there. How directly do we bring this together? I do feel in the heart of it, the masculine does have a solution and you do need to trust them, but you need to be open with that. You may have been feeling that the reason why movement wasn't happening is, look, I will tell you, you know, Jupiter was in the South Node last year and the year before. So for that, that's the masculines. The South Node was that whole situation of their old demeanor was changing. Now, in the first few weeks, maybe during Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde, you may see that shadow energy, but it's also they're moving forward. They can be a little bit depressed. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Because Jupiter is in the house of Pisces and it's also in the house of Neptune, it is making a conjunction this year. What that will do to the masculines is make them look at life very realistically. Okay? Where they were stuck, they will do the shadow work and they will be able to see it logically. But they are using their life to actually look at things and go, I'm not thinking short term now. I'm thinking deeply, seriously. Where do I see myself? How can I be the masculine that I always wanted to be? How can I move into my power but still be loving? I do feel there is, at the moment, there is a piggy in the middle situation. They're trying to clear that up. Now, third party situation at the foundation, sometimes we can say that's the situation, right? And this is in the joint energy, but I'm seeing it could be happening. Third party can be, right? And this is what my guides are showing me at the minute. It could be a family dynamic that you're currently dealing with, or a locational related issue. It might be a workplace, a partner, an ex, a child. Hi, Kerry. But there is going to be this movement forward, okay? And I do feel a lot of you maybe have had to hear your family tell you what this or that was. Maybe look at it yourself inside your energy. Criticize yourself psychologically based on what other connections are. Why? Because Venus was in the house of Capricorn, and it's very strict and traditional. And in a common terms, when we have an ending, we think, hey, it's over, right? But the thing is, because it's traditional, healing doesn't happen that way. We would love to, you know, but it just doesn't work that way. So energetically moving through the gate, what we need to understand is to be gentle. If we're doing shadow work and we were directly hurt due to a third party situation, you can't just jump in and think it's all gone. It's a process, and this is what Divine Masculine's going through. They're closer than you think. Their map of what they're showing me at the moment is quite determined that they have got a plan of action. Now, there is going to be movement forward, but the problem is, guys, in this bridging during Mercury retrograde, I feel the key is going to be in listening and then communicating. So if this person's coming towards you, don't get scared during Mercury retrograde. It's not a bad thing. It is an opportunity to talk over situations. I feel in the coming weeks, many of you will get communication, and it is a secondary opportunity to relook at those things, to re-navigate. I do feel the karmic is a little bit jealous of you at the minute. And I think it's on both sides. There's external people. Mercury retrograde makes sense to me. The masculines may have tried to mute their emotions. This might have been with substance or something else to that degree. Jealousy might have been coming up on the masculine side. They're actually thinking to themselves, why am I fighting this? Why am I angry? I'm contradicting myself. They do want to be happy. But like I said, it's like it just feels like they have so much going on that they're not really explaining how they feel. Do you know what I mean? I feel if there has been an outburst of any description, I do feel they're doing a 360 and they're coming back. I do feel that there's going to be another element of communication. It can be an admittance of where things went wrong. It can be like a peace flag. That's what I'm seeing. But at the moment, if you are experiencing the lower octane of the Divine Masculine, it is temporary. So as YILDIZ used to say, go grab yourself a cuppa. Well, I did used to say pina colada, but, you know, go grab a pina colada and just, you know, take a break for a bit and just hold on to your hats, because I do see this shifting and I do feel it's very soon. But this jealousy is ripe at the moment. How we been? How we been in our new year? I didn't get to chat too much. The feed was lagging a bit. Are we all quiet? There's communication coming in. Oh, did they have something to say to you? Again, I do see a health issue surrounding a family member. There might have been a bit of a delay. Well, they're good. There's a lot of jealousy here. A lot of jealousy. This could be a text message, but whatever went down, if it hasn't happened already, it's about to. Okay? It kind of feels like there's going to be a little bit of what I deem as potty mouth, you know. But it's coming from being triggered, okay? While you guys might have had a bit of quietness, I do feel there has been a situation, again, with family. But whatever was holding them back, that it's not holding them back permanently, so it's not going to play out the way it used to. You'll find if they do go into hermit mode, it's going to be quite temporary and they're coming back out the gate, because I do feel what they're actually showing me is this has reached its peak point, okay? So it's reached its peak point. You know? What do we need to be aware of? Yep. Masculine came in, went out. You know, we're having that moon in Cancer. New beginnings for Cancerians, and we have Venus retrograde, you know, so it's you, with you inside your connections, you're like, that doesn't work with me anymore. That's first house. That's like, I've thought about this. I thought about it, and I don't like it. You could be more direct. Yeah, you could be more direct. You know how it is. You know, you're just like, no. We have to be really careful this month, you know, because the emotions, the moon energies, it's like a new beginning starting. We feel like we're power launching into it. We're like, okay, did you give me the manual? Did you show me how to do this? How am I going to do this? Mercury retrograde will help that. You know? So some of you in the first wave, and I may do some videos during the week based on this, some of you in the first wave are very close, but you do really need to get to a point where things don't define you. That you know you're going to be good with or without, that you're like, look, and because it's a little bit like with the dark night of the soul, your ascension symptoms, you're looking at the psychology of things, you're looking at it from so many different ways, you know, it's driving you a little bit batty. That you finally release it and you're like, oh God, I can't think about this anymore. And you're so tired, psychologically tired, that you let go. Then your auric body can upgrade. That's when you get the communication, because you're like, oh, you know, Jesus, take the wheel. Can't do this. That is when you get the movement. But we need to lower the guard, because if we are to have success, this is another thing we need to know. When we're healing, if we are really ratty, think about it this way. If you wanted the utmost of success in your union, if you choose to, right? The thing is, if we are then going in with victim consciousness, which we will go in with wounds, we're human beings, if we're doing the tit for tat with each other and dragging up the past 24/7, would you want to be around that? So we have to somehow have that self-mastery. Otherwise, that of what we're wanting, we're directly ruining. And so we're co-creating the same outcome, you know? So it feels like crap going through it. Hayley Bear, how you doing, doll? So it's going to benefit you in the long run, right? So I feel with Aries and Chiron moving direct, both parties are realizing we can't carry this emotional baggage around. We just can't. Can we reach for the stars? This is one of those years that it's going to be tough, but you can have such a large amount of success through the transits, and it's going to show you what you're physically made of. You may feel you're not strong, but you're going to teach yourself something that you never knew you had inside you, and it's been there always. But it's a conscious decision to physically say, I'm going to drop the junk, and I'm going to move beyond the wound, and I'm not going to tell myself any lies. I'm going to become successful. That is so weird. I was looking through old texts between Twin, and when he wanted to get back, yeah, well, it's portals, you know, and we're going to be having, I've got a Juno retrograde webinar coming up. I have the calendar online for the Twin Flames. So I've got calendar events that I'm going to be hosting. And that's usually in the transit sense of what happens astrologically with the masculines with unions, communication. You know, they were in the South Node. The portal's open. Now, could this repair take 6 months? I won't lie, yes. It doesn't mean unions won't happen, but it does mean don't expect everything to be a bed of roses going into it, because there's cleaning up. It could be a financial situation. It might be shared care, whatever it's going to be. But you need to self-master in that situation. I might try this year for those that were clients to me who did go into union. I might do a little bit of a video to give you guys updates of what we directly experienced going into our union, so you're directly prepared and not forearmed, forewarned, if you know what I mean, because I do think it's quite important to know you don't have to be perfect to go into union. We're like the bowl with the gold in it. We do have cracks, we do have breakages, but they can benefit you in the future. You will be highly surprised of how they can benefit you moving forward. So don't think that all is lost. No, it's they will really benefit you in your future. We'll have a quick chat, and then if anyone wants a super chat while I'm here, otherwise I'm going to get into the other recordings. And yes, we are back as per usual. I've filled up the calendar to give you, on this occasion, I don't think it gave you a morning notification. I noticed through the break, which I didn't have a break really, I've been working on the website, working on the technology, getting videos done. So with the, I don't even know what I was saying then. Lots of changes, right? Lots and lots of changes, but having to alter them around so that it moves, right? That's all I can say. Things can change. Stop thinking they can't change. Okay. So we have webinars online. I have new technology I'm getting. We have the magazine launching, fingers crossed. Things have taken a lot longer than usual. Did we enjoy the break? Did you have a break? The art of appreciation with small things at the moment. I would definitely say moving into the moon, try and clear your house out. Get your home in order. Do a stock take. What do you need? What do you not need? I may do an astrology update a little bit later, and that's really to talk about some of the themes and predictions as to what's coming through for January, February, March, to be prepared. But if you do want a booking, like I said, there is the link below. My twin and I had a long break. It's called a holiday, you know? It's called a holiday. What, together or, separate? I think it really does help break the codependency. Well, we don't have to look, it's funny because my twin's like, I don't believe in psychics, but he asks me, I don't want to be exactly the same as him. I don't need an external energy to say, YILDIZ, you're a good girl. Do you know what I mean? So perspective is perspective. And I think the good way you can directly communicate with your twin is saying it from your perspective. This is how I see it. I can't speak for you. Do you know what I mean? And then that way they can't discount that. That's them issue if they do. It's like, look, I'm not speaking for you. I'm saying this is how I see the situation. I may be incorrect. I may be presuming. But that's your job to tell me if I'm incorrect. But this is how I was receiving the information. Do you know what I mean? Any super chats while I'm here, or am I hitting the road? But yes, I did the community tab. I think that's what I was talking about. I noticed that from the 14th. I had automated posts all the way through to the end of the year. I've done the time changes with daylight savings, so you get notifications prior to that shift, what time the events are going to be. So you get, if you click the bell and you're subscribed, anything I'm launching, you will get notified of in the community tab. Now, YouTube only gives you 3 notifications a day. That's why I directly put them in the community tab for you. Hi, Char. What would you like to know, madam? Are we looking at your twin? Or are we looking at your energy? Cha, have you been emotional, honey? It's going to pass, you know. It's going to pass. But yeah, great time to clear the house because Cancer's to do with home. It's home and family. Good time to clear. Good time to get things done. Check the date on your food. Venus and shadow, it's still, you know. Look, Dale, the reason is you're Virgo, yeah? Are you Virgo, Char? I can't remember now. I'm pretty sure. But I felt this, like, what, you know, like cry, but you're like, you know, you're okay, but you just feel a bit. You've been unwell. Gem. There you go. Yeah. That makes, it was still the same thing. I don't mean in a sense of the Virgo sign, but it's Mercury in orientation. And you just went through an 18-month transit. So I was really saying both Geminis and Virgos moving into 2022, you're going to feel bloody exhausted. You're going to be like, look, I don't want it anymore. I'm over it. I've had it. I'll have a look, my love. Give me 5. We don't have Giggle in the house today. She's MIA. Yeah, it will pass, guys. It's just, it's one of those transits. But just, you know, try to just let go. Okay? Try to let things get messy. Try to just say, hey, you know what? Does it need to be super serious? You could have had wounds, Char, really looking at going, like I said, we were critically looking at love. And we were, you know, you might have had this little brat attack where we get to a point and go, what have you done for me lately? That is not acceptable behavior, you know. And it's good to actually have a self-esteem and look at it and say, hey, I've actually realized I am allowed to have something good for myself. I'm allowed to feel as though I have a benchmark and that I'm not going to be led into manipulation. If I say I need communication inside a connection, that is my benchmark and I'm moving into acceptance of it. So I do see a lot of shadow work that you were doing and you were feeling about it. But you're tired as well, and that's the hard part. In the astrology, it was making it really hard to navigate through that process and stay grounded. Do you know what I mean? You might have been experiencing some headaches, but you're being really critical on yourself, okay? You've got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got a lot going on with family. You got a lot going on at home. A lot of lineage crap coming up. But hurt feelings, old hurt feelings coming up. Did you have communication, Char? I'll talk about that at the end of the video if we get through these super chats for the catalyst and the twin flame. No, okay, I'm feeling it's close. You might lose your shit. It could be purging, but it's really close. It's really close. But you've had enough, doll. You're tired. You need to rest. Could even be a bit snappy, but it is going to pass. Just take it as Mercury retrograde is going to drive you a little bit insane, but it is going to pass. I think your energy and your aura, do an auric clearing. You can do an aura clearing. We have a lot of base chakra going on at the moment. If you can clear that, your home, your lineage, your stability, you're safe. Just keep saying, I am safe, I am loved, I can have a benchmark. And I feel this is going to pass. But I do feel this person actually very close. I feel also a male may be talking to you to give you a bit of a pep talk. Now, I don't know if that's helping or it's not. But as long as you know your compass of what's correct for you, that's all that counts. And, you know, even if it triggers you, you'll look at the shadow of it and you'll move away from it. Do you get what I'm saying? But I do feel this person very close. Who's next? I'm going to have to scroll up and down because I'm my moderator today. Did I miss anyone? So we had Dawn. Dawn. You are emotional, Dawn, but do you know what? You're very different. Your aura is very different. Your aura is coming through a little bit like Aries at the moment. Strong, you know, strong, and no, I'm not going to have that. That's okay, Char, but I feel it's close, love. It's kind of spooky. You're not the same girl you were last year, Dawn. Ooh. You got to watch those blue eyes, girl, because they're kind of shining. I think has someone said something to you that's kind of like, this could be something that's coming, I'm telling you. There is sympathy, but there's a little, okay? It's, you do feel lots has changed in a very, very short space of time, and more occurred in January, and we haven't even got through January. You kind of feel, you could be thinking about moving. You could be after visiting energies of people around you, and the energies that are not going to be around you, you're like, what's my life call? You know, what's my purpose? What do I want to do? Do I stay? Do I go? And I feel while you're processing that, you might not be telling anyone about it, but you are deeply thinking about it. I think some of it in the past you were gauging against, twin. But now you're looking at it going, if that's where you want to sit, you can sit there, but you want something very important for yourself. You want to be really open to it. Yeah, it's like you've got this fight. It's not bad. Don't think it's bad. It's like this, you got this love for life now. You got this firmness. You got this backbone where you like, you won't need to say anything. It's in the look. I remember somebody saying that to me once, and they were like, yeah, no. It's when a person is very comfortable with themselves. No is no and yes is yes, and there's no mincing the words. It's like, look, you can try and convince me, but I know what I want. And you're pretty to the point. And I think because you have gone through that transit the last 18 months, like I said to you, first house placement is a beauty. You come out of that transit and you're like, why was I thinking I had to be everything to everyone? I can actually get something out of a relationship, you know, but you're realizing what you need to give, what you need to get back. It's this transactional thing. It can be your career changing at the moment. It might be that you're looking at your life, your home, your social energy. And all of us collectively are re-looking at our values. But with you, you're like, look, you better come get me because I'm over it. I am over it. I am frustrated with hearing the white noise. Okay, what's the outcome at the moment? Dawn, I'd love to see your eyes. I think it'd be hilarious. They look lovely, don't get me wrong. People are thinking that you might be a bit like on edge, but you're not. You're just being firm. They're not used to it. They're like not used to it. You know, so they're kind of like, oh my God, who is this new version? Who's this new Dawn? I don't know Dawn. Dawn wasn't like that before. Okay, with your twin, there's something going on and you're well aware of it. You've stood back. You're like, look, you can do you, or you can keep eating hay. But guess what? It's going to keep being that way. So until you can accept it, you're looking at it like, we never do get notifications for lives. I did put it in the community tab, though. It's Mercury Retrograde. It's a new year. Mercury Retrograde. Change it. Change your password logins. Be careful driving. Go re-click the bell. Go in, change the settings. Yeah. And be careful in groups. It's in the energy of Aquarius. It is easy for me to see beyond. So you're looking at it and you're like, look, I can see, you can tell me all you need to tell me, but I do know that you are not happy. Okay, so I think you actually do know, but you're tired of hearing the white noise. So you're like, look, you go do you, boo. But guess what? I'm not going to hear this lie because I know this isn't, you want to live that, that's fine. Red pill, blue pill, whatever. But that's not something that I subscribe to. So I think you're coming through the gate at the moment pretty firmly. If you did have any transaction with your twin, I can feel this broody energy. He actually thinks it's really attractive, but at the same time, he knows you've gone past that point now, so it's a non-negotiation. I hope that helped. That's where you're at this week. Who are we at? I love you, Dawn. Astro love. Any idea when real money is coming in for me? This is a great year financially, as you would know. Now, this hard part of the Venus retrograde can put a hold on things, but as we move into Mercury retrograde, it speeds it up. Okay, can it look messy? Yes. But there's something to do with your past. Could it be something that you've lost? Because it's like sometimes we energetically can look at the past and we feel all that glistens was last year, previously. I'm never going to get back to where I was. Was there something to do with your money that occurred in the past? And it's like psychologically, it could be where you're feeling it's holding you back. Was there an ending of some description? It might have been work, business. It could have been a separation. It was something relating, because what they're showing me is something relating to the past. I'll wait for you to respond. That's okay, Dawn. I'll have to have a chat soon. I think they're saying, look, this could even be lineage, right? This could even be, look, how everything could be. You're looking at how the world is, but there's something in a sense where your heart chakra, it's almost like they're saying, relax, it's going to be fine. There might be a lot financially that is directly impacting us at the minute, but it is going to start shifting and it won't be permanently like this. There's going to be a lot of shifts and changes, but they're showing me the way that you're doing what you're doing to gain money. You need to think outside the box, because and again, peace, they're showing us more in the format that you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, I'm doing it now. Thanks, Stel. But you have to love what you're doing. That's what they're saying. You have to really love what you're doing. And if you've been on the fence, usually in a spiritual term, when we're trying to move into the manifestation of money, if we're looking at two different ways to do something and we're like, which one would be safest? Usually we can't manifest that at the highest octane, because it's more to do with the psychology over the heart chakra. And Tesla talks about this. When you manifest from your heart chakra, it's not necessarily, do you know how everything's going to come together? But you kind of go, okay, this is what my heart calls for me to do. I think if I do such, it's actually going to work quite well. It does feel like it's going to be quite big, but you do try. What they're showing me is don't have tunnel vision, because with your path moving forward at the moment, sometimes we try to get too fixed on how that's going to come, and they're actually saying there's tunnels left and right, and be open to those because it can generate extra. Yeah. Have you started something brand new? Because there definitely is a bigger picture here. What is it, Dal? Because it's like you're trying to see the bigger picture. You're trying to look at it from a perspective of how to build it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can see the potential, right? And it's like you're trying to go through that portal to see the long-term goal. You're tuning into maybe those ways that you can do it. You can see the potential, but you kind of feel a bit like you're second-guessing yourself. Like, have I got everything intact here? You know, is this actually going to work? So what is it? Is it online on YouTube? I feel whatever you're doing. Cool. Well, definitely you're going to make sure. I mean, I do coaching online for channels and building businesses. So I've been on YouTube doing my business for 5 years, branching out. So if you do want that, it's there. Separately, there's a process to it. So it is a learning curve when you're doing it, but you do need to be on every platform. Okay? You need to also understand that when you're doing content on YouTube, that could be a very specialized service. That is probably better off for your website. Any YouTuber, any company, you should have a website. If you don't have a website, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's going to be your 2IC. So my highest advice would be build a website. The other thing would be is that the format in which you do it, you need to become your customer, because even if we're really skilled at something that we do, what we need to do is think outside the box. And I feel with this, it's like, you know, sometimes we can go into it going, yes, this is it, but it can change and morph. I mean, when I started, it was just, look, I'm doing psychic readings, but I do have a lot of experience in spirituality, psychic development, coaching, lots of things, right? So I've had to research my niche market. My niche market has changed over the years. Yeah, Leonix is getting coaching from me, and a couple of other people as well. I do have quite a few groups that I do work with. So what you need to understand is, think about YouTube as an algorithm, right? The thing is, to get monetized on YouTube, we need to understand that content that is based on a monthly situation, after that month, gets no money on it. So you really need to be looking at, in the higher octane, what you would need to do. And so you need to look at your foundation, right? And I am going to create another channel through this process, which is going to be to do with how to grow a YouTube channel from a actual content creator that has a different channel, other than let me promote how to build a channel, which is recycled garbage, quite frankly. Unless you're doing something that is non-techie, and then you can go back into it and you can go, hey, I'm just going to explain to you, this is what I did, and this is where I really mucked up. We can be optimistic. It's a process. It's to do with education. But you've got to understand, it's like a building, right? YouTube is like a website. So it's like a building. You need to get your foundation right. Somebody's going to resonate with you, reality, right? You're going to find your tribe. But you need to work out, what would you put on YouTube? What would you put on Instagram? How do you manage them? I can give you the tips and a booking. But it's also that video, once it goes out, you could do 12 zodiac signs. After that month is done. It's not worth shit, you know? And certain things you need to keep for more a sundry service. So you've got to be smart about how you do that. Do you know what I mean? Why do you think on YouTube, a lot of the content creators that are actually doing videos that are timeless reads, they continue to get views. They continue to grow their channel because they haven't got a timestamp on it, which is kind of, you know. Anyhow, look, this year is good. What's your zodiac? I mean, psychically speaking, that's the deal I'm saying for you. But for some reason, I'm saying between now and mid-year is very important, okay? It's a very important time frame, a portal for you. And it's like you need to get your ducks in a row for that point where you'll get slingshot forward. Yeah, well, that makes sense because I was saying Aries. So what your Venus house theoretically from the collective energy is Aries, but we're having Jupiter move into Aries. So again, with your contract sector, with your love life, with your health at your moment, you really need to look after it. But it's logical that you're re-looking at how to implement that, and it can be home-based businesses. It might be having to restructure the way you're doing that. But yes, it can be very successful. But you can have a look. This is a very lucky year for you. But you have to be in a routine. You've got to look at the bigger picture and look at really realistically. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this. It's like step back from it like a painting. Go and look at other YouTube channels and say, how are they directly doing that? And then regardless of, you know, the fact that we generally do feel, hey, we've got a niche product here, you also need to look at it and go, how can I structure that so they're getting something, but it's actually helping maintain and grow this channel? Because for some reason, I'm telling you, once YouTube gets used to your channel of how much you put in, they do kind of raise that benchmark. And it's almost like this pressure that we feel. Because you can see the subscribers going up and down. You can see the views going up and down. It's like YouTube's basically saying, you haven't uploaded in a bit. You better hurry up, and you upload and bang, the view counts go back up again. So it's this constant chasing your tail. I hope it helped anyway. Who's be next? Leo, next. How you doing, gorgeous? How's business? Or is it CC? I think it's CC. Hi, CC. How you doing? What are we looking at? Thanks, Chris. Love ya. That's okay. But yeah, the website's below, Dale. If you want a reading, I've got astrology bookings on there. I've got coaching for businesses. Question above. I've got to scroll all the way up though. That's the problem. Are you going to be a millionaire? There's no question above. Oh, where? I don't know. You're going to have to write the question again. There's too many heads to scroll through. Yeah, see, there's another head on the shoulder. What are we looking at, Cece? What do you do if you... Oh, that's right. If you are confused, who is your twin? Okay, I love this question. I can't wait to do my information content videos. I just can't wait. Now, there's no catalyst. You know why it's coming up for you? It's because one to you equals safe, the other to you equals complicated, which generally the complicated one is twin flame. So who's the safe bet? Who's the one that makes more sense? And they're so nice. Oh, Lord. You know, they're nice, they're safe. Both are complicated. Which one do you feel isn't safe? That triggers you and makes you change and, you know, drives you crazy. That's because it's the mirror. Nobody said twins weren't toxic. Whoever says that was the catalyst, you know what I mean? You know who your MF twin flame is. I mean, I'm telling you, you know, they drive you insane. They make you change, they can make you frustrated, you feel anxious, you're like, I've forgotten them, and then you're getting ascension and dreams. Do you know what I mean? Well, you wouldn't be talking about them if you didn't love them, but usually the love is directly connected to you inside yourself. It's not to do... I'm further along in my journey, so some people will frankly get triggered by me because I'm in another reality, right? I've moved through all that Hades. I'm sure there's more Hades for me. I'm not presumptuous to believe I'm not going to go through some more crap later. I wouldn't dare. I hurt my back a while ago, so I'm a little bit off. You can choose, but the thing is, you're on the tightrope at the moment, and the reason why you're not, like, it's not... Can you love more than one person? Yes, but it's in a different way. So it can be that you have a spiritual connection with people. We have people that pass over. We still love them. So yes, it's very normal that we can love more than one person, but... could I live without that person? If you actually stand back from the painting and you sit there, regardless of whether they're behaving the way you want them to or not, that's your truth. So it's about stepping back and saying, okay, how am I seeing both of these situations? Is there something in a sense that this is trying to teach me, but separately, just letting go of the reins a bit, but having to choose. I think sometimes we can't directly get movement with twin. What you'll tend to find is if you're in separation, right? And meanwhile, you know that your twin is in a karmic connection. Okay. They're in a karmic connection. You could be psychologically free, but meditating upon another person. So you're still in a karmic connection, right? You, on the other hand, could say, this person's mucking me about. They've got someone. Meanwhile, you're thinking of someone. Coming into duality, which we're in 11-11. So this kind of makes a lot of sense at the moment. 11-11, right? You need to get into yin and yang. Where are your emotions at? Are we seeking outside ourselves, or do we have it within? Is there something on the 3D that we need to listen to emotionally, to balance both, to become whole? We're becoming whole. We're having a brand new beginning. The urgency more than likely is coming out because you feel you need to decide. And your heart will tell you the truth. You will always know. I remember one time I would have a few people that I knew that maybe had a crush on me, and this was years ago, I think I was 25. Maybe I was older. I mean, I'm really old now. And I remember saying to myself, because my North Node is Scorpio, so I totally understand this South Node and the North Node relating to the current astrology. And it is about the fact that we can be very fixed in believing everything is permanent when everything is falling down around us. But does that have to be bad? No, it's evolution, baby. Let go, rebirth. You need to make a decision inside yourself. We can change gears and go left later. But it's about learning to know inside yourself what is true for you. Does that make sense? But usually you can choose to let the other one go then. And if you feel psychologically, like I said, the other one you said was toxic. First one is totally behaving. Well, at the moment, the masculines are going through the 12th house, which is to do with that. And, it's during Venus retrograde. Nobody can manipulate you. If you can see the tendencies, you're going to be aware of it and it won't work on you. So you're actually in your empowerment. Theoretically, nobody can make us do anything we're not giving permission to. They could say, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You can say yes or no. What do you want to know? I'll pull a card. Because at the moment, it's like, don't go into the heart. No, you don't have to wait 6 months. It's Jupiter in Pisces is growth, but because it's in the 6th house, in your own chart, it'll be different, obviously, but the collective energy for Libra, it's in the 6th house. It's to do with structure, routine. At the moment, due to the fact we have Venus retrograde, Mercury going retrograde, I said last year, astrologically, we could have a spike in everything that's happening in the collective. We definitely could have issues relating to trade for an interim, not permanently. Trade will open back up. But the way, lucky enough for YouTubers, the South Node was in Sagittarius, which relates to media, it's now going to grow. So YouTubers can grow again now. It won't just be all news. Right. But no, it's huge contracts by then. But if you get all your ducks in a row, that's you could get $1 million. It's high octane money. That's what I'm trying to say. So with you, CC, take your time, doll. It's, we're still in Venus shadow. We're moving into Mercury retrograde. Reflect upon it, but don't make a decision. But usually from my experience, we grow into this energy. It's not we are there right away. But you have to look at your value system. You may, from a logical point of view in Venus retrograde, be thinking, hey, that's not how a masculine reacts. So again, like I said previously, you're usually trying to pick something that's safer and you need to pick something that resonates with you. Because usually when we're out of alignment, both parties are out of alignment. And it's not out of alignment, it's growth, it's perspective. Do you know what I mean? Hope that helped. Who's next? Leo next. Leo next. How you been? For Libra, I would say probably in the next few weeks. Can be very soon, actually. There's been a lot of expenses for Libra, though. I'll just say. I'm lucky that I got people booking during January because I had to upgrade the website for the meditation hub that I'm going to have on there for the memberships. I put a discount up and I'll have to name the names if they're willing to be named, and they helped me get that high, very expensive website so that I can host that meditation hub, webinars, etc. But what's going on with love life? Oh, okay, Leonix, you know this. I told you, right? I said January gonna be crap. For Leos, you guys are like, listen, Linda, you're bloody over it. When your good portal is? If you can make it through here, be careful. If you can't be careful, buy a pram. I'm just saying, look what you got. I did warn you about this. Oh, God. We do have Venus move. I had a lovely lady yesterday, and she's Leo. Both for your money, your contracts, and for your love life. As we move through this Capricorn energy, you're restructuring. Okay, you're looking at your health, you're looking at your diet, you're trying to get organized. It could be emotionally looking at your health and well-being. What do I do versus what does the other person do? You're nurturing yourself at the moment, but you're nurturing your projects. I do see, for some reason, I don't know why I say this, but I do, there could be something coming up with kids at the minute. I am seeing, though, look, the highest octane for your Venus house is by the time we move through March, we have Venus step into Aquarius. That's your romance house. So during Mercury retrograde, more communication. A good 2 weeks this month could be a bit testing for you. But I think if you can just keep your nav man on direct, I think it's going to help you and benefit you. Because I do see that this person's going to come towards you and communicate. I think they're going to retract what they said previously, but you do need to allow them to move in towards you. You could be earning extra money soon. But there is jealousy that's coming up. And so I do feel emotionally, if you're looking at the karmic and thinking that they're moving on the karmic or they're doing something, let go of that. Understand your self-worth and know who you are. I do feel this person's watching you. Better keep an eye on the time. Yeah, connections coming in. They better hurry up. You know what I mean? Because you have a portal of love coming up for your zodiac sign. It's quite large, but I do see success here. I feel that they're watching you on media, and I feel it's causing a little bit of jealousy. But I do feel that, you know, if they pussyfoot around the issue and try again, you will be telling them in no uncertain terms, look, yeah, I'm doing that. Thanks, Chris. I'm doing hers now, doll. I'm telling you, Mercury retrograde, this is really lagging. Try to not go into the rabbit hole of feeling you're not good enough. It's not a competition. You're definitely looking at your work, though, at the moment. You're like, what do I do left and right? I think you're calming down, but I think you're looking at your full-time work and you're going, do I do this? Any questions? Because you're concerned about money at the moment. I'm sure my business page is being launched. Yes, I know. I have been looking at it. Yes, I know. Yeah, there's a bit of jealousy here. Quite impressed, but I do think there's something coming up with them at the moment. Yeah, they're up in their heads, okay? It's going to pass. You will get communication. But at the moment, they're kind of thinking over the previous transactions of communication. They're kind of regretting what they said. Yeah, they're regretting it. What's this? Yeah, they're super aware. They're like, why'd I go and say that for? They kind of feel they've put their foot in the doo-doo. Why did I do that? How now am I going to communicate? Yeah, they feel upset about the conversations. Okay? They're feeling upset by it. They do want to communicate with you, but you're going to have to stay grounded. You have a very good portal for romance. Pretty much as we move out of Venus retrograde, it should ease up. We're away from the eclipses at the moment. Anthony, did you want a super chat, my friend? Or were you just donating? But yeah, Leo next. It's I feel it's regretful. Let me put it that way. It feels regretful. Yeah. Yeah. I have not been able to sleep in 3 days. I have severe sciatica at the moment. I have been since October. Yes, so I'm getting x-rays and ultrasounds. I've had inflammation. So I'm just doing physio at the minute, you know. And left and right. Left. You know. Good old base chakra for Libra. Cancer rising. Plus it's hitting my Venus. I mean, technically Venus retrograde is in the house of Capricorn, which is very Scorpio in nature. So it's base chakra and Venus. It's very common for family members prior to union to have premonitions of your counterpart. Has it been of most recent that you were thinking there was a blockage to reconciliation? Now, I'll give you an example. Sometimes it might have been if something went down prior, how different energies would relate to the circumstance. But a lot of times when you're letting go, it's like as this nagging reminder, family members will start saying, hey, you know, we had this conversation and it was in my dreams and, you know, this person's popped up and you're thinking, I've stopped thinking about them. I'm trying to keep direct, you know, I'm trying to be in detachment. And then it comes through in other people. But it is very common prior to union. But it's so you understand we're all interlinked, we're all connected. A lot of times a child on one side or the other in the twin flame connection will have a soul contract to both of you guys in a previous life. And they may have been your joint child in the previous life, which is quite common. In the context of what the dream was, it's a message that they're trying to give to you. And it's another way that they can give you a channeled message without your ego directly connected to it. So it's like, okay, you're second guessing yourself. You're thinking you're going crazy. So if it comes through in another person's dreams, it's a direct message. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know why I picked that. Maybe they have been quite well and unwell and off. Were you picking that? Because it's like they're trying to send a message. Yeah, I know. That is happening at the moment with this transit, especially because we have Venus in a house that's very Pluto in energy. It's new cycles. You know, with Uranus and Taurus, it's older and younger. It can be people transcending over. There is that portal for it at the moment. Also a lot to do with our pets are coming up. We need to really take care of our pets. But whatever generally is moving out of our lives, it's because a new chapter is coming. And it's so that those portals and those doors can open for that. Yeah, but I feel, Anthony, I kind of feel that maybe your TF was a little bit under the weather or had something going on. But I do think that the communication is coming through. We never connected well. You can't, like I say to the guys on here, I mean, I knew my twin for over 25 years. You can't lose your twin. You can't. I mean, you can, but you're back again next lifetime, you know what I mean? Try and be open to it in a sense of, how do I put it? I mean, we have the talking stick here. We have communication. Communication in twin flame path usually looks crap. Once the person has done their shadow work, though, they're a totally different person. They're not like that anymore. So I do see it's sort of like a synchronistic message that they're coming in to bring you through a third party. That's what I'm saying. But I do feel that they were a little bit poorly most recently, and they were directly thinking about you. Yes. You're back. I can't walk. I have to do physio before I can stand. I have to take my telephone to the powder room just in case I've got to go, Dale, you need to come home. I cannot walk. My shoulder has been lifting me, so my shoulder popped out the other day. So I was like, what is going on? You know, again, it's base chakra because Saturn and Venus in the house of Capricorn, I did say this month we're going to have a lot of base chakra. We also have the South Node in Scorpio, which is my Venus house as well. And it's my North Node. So I'm having a nodal reversal. So it's all the lower chakras. You're going to want heavy food initially. We had Mars in the house of Sagittarius, indulgent food. You know, moving into Capricorn, it's strict with our diet, getting into a routine, being cautious about sensitivity, you know, detoxing with Uranus and Taurus. And remember, because Venus is in the house of Capricorn, which will react like Scorpio, we have to keep our area clean. You know, you could get toxic poisoning, cross-contamination, inflammation. So it's about ditching the things that aren't good for you to transfer and bring the things in, which is creating balance. But because it's all the lower chakras, it's bones, teeth, back, feet, neck. Yeah, so pretty much from October, it's been going, whew. So I'm like, something's got to give. I mean, now I just wish I could run, you know. Fluid retention. I've had a lot of puffiness. I've been drinking apple cider vinegar. I've been doing gin removals to protect my aura for psychic attacks. Yes. Yeah, we need to get grounded. You know? Sounds good. I've got a few people that's working on it. Give me a heads up on the website. We'll see how we go. I've got all the appointments set up. It was a decade ago. Still relevant, right? Yes. I knew I did it to myself. I knew, you know, it's things that build up over the years. And the funny thing was, I was having pain in it the other day, and I always tend to match my clients. And this client that came in was like, "Oh, hi, Yilds, you know, how are you?" And I went, "Yeah, a bit of sciatica, you know," and it's both sides, which is problematic. And they go, "Oh God, so am I." Talk about matching each other. Yeah. But definitely, I think that it's Libra. Libra at the moment does have base chakra. It's their Venus house as well. Taurus, you need to be careful as well. Who else? Virgo, you're going to have to be patient as well with your money. You may be trying to balance things out. But I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Have we done, everyone? Thank you for joining me. If you need a booking, the link is directly below. We do have the members hub that has all the extensions. Okay, it's got a chat room too. So we got the videos that are pre-recorded with all extensions. I pop in mid-month and I'll have a chat to you. We then have the second level, which I believe is the chat room. The third level, which is all content that's pre-release, goes in there. The top level is all the extensions. And when I am recording the information content, I may put additionals up in the top level as well. Okay, I'll see you next Friday for the Twin Flame update. If I do get channel messages through the week, I'll give you a buzz and I'll come through and join you guys for the astrology updates. Take care.